Thanks for tuning in to Season 2 of the Hollow Points Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And what do we do, Coach?
We accept the challenge of providing dangerous, thought provoking, and sometimes controversial insights into life's most common topics.
Get your mind right, yeah. Get your mind right.
My uncle told me one time, I was like, why do I keep meeting these crazy girls, these ghetto? He's like, where are you meeting them at? At the club. He said, no. You need to stop that. You need to go to a nice place to meet a nice woman. You need to order some wine. Stop getting that Hennessy. Stop making the Incredible Hulk. Stop ordering all that stuff. You need to go to a nice place if you meet a nice person. Go to a hood place, you meet a hood woman. I think we need something or some way to put together or collect some ideas how we can properly hunt, how we can properly search for that person. It's not going to, I mean, you're still going to waste $300 to $400 to find out somebody ain't shit, but still.
I think one of the problems with it is that, so obviously growing up, you hear you got to go to the library, which they don't make libraries no more, but you got to go to the library, the grocery store, and the church to meet a good girl, good, clean girl, right? Good, clean, wholesome girl. That's the only places they are. They ain't at the gas station. They ain't at nowhere else. Or you could go to school if you are so inclined to go to school. It's all good girls in school for some reason. These are the black myths, right? But the reality of it is, I think that the idea of this Swiss Army hoe is the problem because what happens is you want her to be able to twerk and do this and that when it's
Why she
time
got to
for
be
it.
a hoe? What's she got? I mean, there's many other
I'm
garden
sorry. I'm
tools we
sorry.
can use.
Because that's what I'm hunting for. Let me be me, sir. I didn't stop you when you were saying stuff. Let me be me.
Oh,
I like
I said
hoes.
proper
I
women.
used to
You hoe
like
hunting.
hoes. Okay.
Okay,
So
go
when I
ahead,
was
go ahead.
out hunting, I was hunting for hoes. Now, me meeting this Swiss Army hoe, I do need her to be able to chew with her mouth closed and conjugate a verb. I need her to be able to dance, and I need her to be able to stay with me and fight if need be. So she got to have some meat on her bones. And I need her to be a well-read and well-spoken woman. Like I said in a previous pod, the concept of a dude wanting everything in a woman is feminine to me. Women tend to want everything. They want the strength and the intelligence and the fortitude and the supportiveness and all. They want them to cry at movies, but then whoop some ass when need be. That kind of stuff is crazy to me. But
Hoes don't conjugate verbs.
listen, not at the time. You have to be timely in your ability to excite me. So it's like what they say: a lady in the what is it? A freak in the bed and a woman in the streets or something like that. You know what
No.
I'm saying?
A lady in the streets and a freak in the bed.
There you
That's
go.
what you're
There you
saying.
go. There you go. So when she was
Uh,
a freak in the bed, she wouldn't conjugate no verbs. But when she was a lady in the streets, that's
freak
what
in
she
the
had on
sheets.
the
That's what it
Sunday go to
was.
meeting hat.
Who
Yeah, she.
believes that myth? No, she's a lady both places, and she's a freak both places.
Oh,
We
I like
can't
that.
believe that. She's a freak in the streets and in the bed.
Is it the
Oh.
uniform? How do you do that to her? Is it the
How do you
uniform?
do the freaks in the street?
Right.
Because the freaks in the street, them the ones that walk the streets. I don't know if that's what you want.
They don't have to walk, but if a man got enough money, Lil Wayne say they ain't loyal.
Oh, oh wow.
My God.
Wow. I think that the dynamic of I want her to be what I want her to be when I want her to be it is the bane of every relationship existence, every friendship, every because people are flexible, people are fickle, people fluctuate in their approach to things. And if you don't have a level of consistency, what you can hang your hat on, what you mainly are, I think that's why you end up searching and looking. So when you are hunting, the issue that you have to understand is you're meeting the representative every time, all the time. She's telling you, she's figuring out what you want to hear, what you own, you know what I'm saying? I had a young lady at one point in time. I was talking to this broad, and she said, "I'm gonna tell you something." And she might have been younger than me, but the point is, she gave me game like she was 10 years older than me. And what she said to me was, "A real woman, because they like to use terms real when they're trying to qualify things, but a real woman knows within the first 5 minutes of meeting you whether you can get it or you can just buy dinner or you can whatever the case may be on site. Like she has an assessment of what can happen with you and she from the beginning of y'all engagement. So sometimes men waste their time not picking up on whether they can take it to the next level or this is something that's going to be a love connection or not because they don't have the ability to understand women or men are not that different as it relates to evaluating the opposite sex and knowing if they want to move forward or whatever the case may be. Now, I don't know, and you could tell me, is it a situation where you done let a dude put a lot of investment in conversation, education, and drinks, knowing that ain't no way in hell? Have you had that situation before?
Yeah.
You just said that all cool.
Well,
Why don't you
I
feel bad?
well I don't. Let me see. Hold on. Wait a minute. What I was going to say before you asked me that question is that when she said that a real woman knows, well, I
Mhm.
would say women do know.
Wow.
We put in a category of, when I meet you and let's just say we go out and we're talking, we have going lunch or something. Just a
Mhm.
simple little lunch. Different categories. I know the first category is, am I gonna want to go out with this person again just to talk?
Mhm.
And then maybe a couple of categories, one, two, three, maybe the fourth category, you still lingering in that category. Well, I might just, we might end up doing, this might be somebody I can get a goodies to. However, that shouldn't come up on the first date or the second date the way that I think. No, I don't know about other women, but yes, we do. We put you in certain categories because it's so many categories. Because I know, you said once before, women are complicated, but that's just how we think. If we go out with you,
Mhm.
um, can you? Look? I've dated in my younger years where I
Mhm.
met someone and I knew instantly that this person couldn't hold my hand. Like he reached to grab my hand one time. We was walking, it was sweaty, and I knew then on I continued to talk to him on the phone because he was cool and we might can hang out again, but he can't touch my hand because they're right there. So it's
Because the nigga
yeah,
hands
Why?
was
Why
clammy because
did
of the
you?
weather.
Yeah.
it was just disgusting to me. It was like, well, why your
Okay.
hands so wet?
Why did
So
you
that right there
continue the
wasn't gonna
phone
happen,
conversation?
which probably crossed him off from their getting it list too. Because your hands sweaty. I don't know if we gonna make it to that point. But so you
Why'd
mean to
you
tell me men
continue?
don't men don't have that? Y'all don't think in y'all
No,
head when you're dating and you say, okay, she
no.
be cool to hang out with and talk to, but I don't think I take it to the next level with her. But we can be friends.
We
Jump
we
in,
don't
bro.
continue. We don't continue. Why did you
Not even with
continue?
a friendship. Because
No,
you
For
can be
what?
friends.
She
no.
don't want to be your friend.
Mm.
He didn't want to
But
be
the
your
guys
friend.
He
but the
didn't.
guys
He
will hang
didn't.
around to be your friend though.
He didn't. Let me explain
He
something to
didn't
you.
want
I'm
to
gonna
be
tell
your
you a
friend.
little trick
No.
here.
Okay.
That's not what they were doing. They was hoping you would come around. They
Now
was
they
trying to
was
wear
hoping
your
to
ass
get to
down.
the level
Yeah, they was
4.
trying to wear you down. Yeah. They was like,
Shame
okay,
on them.
let me reconstruct the figures and come at this a different angle because I done put too much in at this point. I can't just walk away. So they coming back and they going back, regrouping and getting back in the lab. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And they try to come back at you.
they should pay attention to the vibe because there's
Whew.
certain vibes that women give off when you know she like you. You know it's gonna. She let you rub the small of her back this time, and you hug a little tighter and all this stuff. On the next day, you should know. If you've been on 2, 3 dates and she like, okay, bye, and go in the house, why are you coming back around for the fifth, sixth, seventh date?
I can explain that. And it is
Okay.
because women are not monolithic. All women are different, give off different signals. So it depends on where you're from. If you moved to New York, so much. It's
So
so
when
complicated.
so
It's
when
so
you out there hunting,
yes.
then you should know the territory you in, what you hunting for, what you dealing with. You should know. Nah,
This is
nah,
where
I
you're
can't
wrong.
say
I'm gonna tell
that.
you, I'm gonna explain to you exactly where you're
Yeah,
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
Right. Right.
explaining to
Right.
you exactly where you're wrong.
I'm
If
probably
I
gonna answer
asked
my
you
own question. Go ahead.
exactly, if I asked you to name me 10 women when you 23 years old, name me the 6 women that you hung around that was just like you would say zero. You were
Yeah.
one of one.
I knew
Most
you were
women
gonna say
pride themselves. They
that.
pride themselves on being one of one. So therefore, even if they think like her or they like your ex, if they find out they remotely like this chick that you got some experience with and you bringing some of that into the equation, they will
Mhm.
switch up. They don't want to be compared and they don't want to be on them lines. They want to be something. So every woman wants to be a unicorn so bad and they so extinct.
And
they
then there's another type of woman though.
I like how
There's
you said that
also
at the end. And it was so bad, but they're so extinct. Oh my
there's a
goodness.
type of woman, right, that also is a savior or she wants to help. So
yeah,
there are women out
Yeah.
there getting him dry cloths to wipe his hands
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and helping him build into that because he has everything else. So maybe he thought he
That's
had everything else you needed,
He didn't.
but
She used that as an excuse. Trust
yeah,
me.
yeah, he did. He obviously didn't if he couldn't get it at that point.
Yeah,
He
she
struck out on a
absolutely.
couple of other levels anyway, but still, there are women who are willing to help build him along because either they're thirsty enough or they're nurturing enough to want to build
absolutely.
him up into
Yeah,
And,
that's
who
and,
they want
and
him to
for
be.
this brother, he found some woman that told him she had a Michael Jackson fantasy, and that she loved niggas that wear one glove, and, and bought him a glitter glove. And he was like, "Man, my baby loved the glitter glove," and that so she got over that sweaty palm situation. You know what I'm saying?
and
But
I hope so. I really do.
I think the issue is, and I want to run this by you, because my mom told me this years ago, and
What?
it messed with me. Go ahead, cuz. What you got?
No, I was just gonna say, was it Michael Jackson? So we can clear it with Shonda. We don't know
Right.
if that's who it really was.
I
Is
hope
that
not.
why he wore the glove?
No, she ain't in that group. But
Oh, my bad.
what my mom told me was the way that she approaches, and let me just for full disclosure and kind of give you the moral of the story. My mom has never been married and is currently single. So this may or may not contribute to what I was just saying, what I'm about to say. She said that when she meets a guy, they start at 0 and work their way up to 100. So that means you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it depends on what you do to gain points. And I don't know the pointing system because it doesn't matter. But
Zero what?
I, excuse me,
Zero what? What's the
0, like
measurement?
0 credit. You get 0 benefit of the doubt, 0 credit. Everything is earned.
Oh, trust and
Every
everything? Everything
everything
zero?
is earned. Everything is
Whoa.
earned.
Whoa.
Now, I have been in relationships since then in my 20s and something with women, and I broached this subject and said, "Hey, when you meet a guy, what are you willing to give up front?" And they say it, and this is conventional wisdom. I'll trust you, I'll believe in you, I'll respect you until you give me a reason not to. So
Right.
their approach was you start at 100 and then start getting demerits. And then once you fail in a class, you kicked out the school. My mom was, no, you couldn't it out the mud, and you got to build your way up from 0 to 100. And people just don't have that fortitude to work their way from 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? What is your thought on that mentality? Do you think she's dead dog dirty wrong? Like, is there a balance there? Or because sometimes women do feel bad that they give too much too early, and men disappoint them. The one thing she can say is, I'm rarely disappointed by dudes because I didn't believe in them anyway.
Well, no disrespect to your mom,
It's
but
okay.
and to each his own. But to me, that's tough. That's really
Okay.
really hard because
Okay.
I get until you show me something different. When I meet you,
Mhm,
I trust you. I believe what you're saying coming out your mouth to be true.
mhm,
Until you show me something different, I just can't automatically meet you and think that you a liar, a cheat, and you a
mhm,
steal,
mhm.
and then you gotta show me that you're not a liar or a thief. And you don't. I don't get it. But if that's that's what she go by, then that's her. But I don't think that's. Mm-mm.
If you had that
I
approach,
think
would it
it's
have saved you
You're
some
always
problems?
gonna look at you're gonna look at somebody with the side eye every time you meet them. And
Okay.
how can you
yeah,
be happy
I
that
think
way
it's
when you
unfair.
always looking over your shoulder to make sure they ain't stealing from you and they ain't lying to you? That's
Right.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think I think it's unfair because you're starting out the school year in detention.
Yes.
Like, what did you do? You already punished. You can't
Yeah.
have a successful relationship,
Nope.
which further is why she's probably not married. I don't know why she's
Mhm,
single now because it's
mhm.
probably dudes at the bingo hall. But still,
Right. Right.
I think if you start punishing people for no reason at the beginning, you punishing yourself too, because they're
And
not
then
about
what?
to climb out.
How does that person show you or prove to you work their way up? So what is her guidelines by that? What they got to?
Let,
I don't
let me
understand.
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, and
Okay.
I'm gonna use terms that we've all heard and that we have accepted without really thinking about them. I believe. So my sister, for an example, she always testing the dude, always testing it. I told her, life is gonna test you enough. I said it on a pod. Life is gonna test you enough. You don't have to come in with these tests. I need to see if he can handle me. Women say he's intimidated by me. He can't handle a real woman. He can't. I need to see if he can. Whatever, whatever, whatever. If he gonna be there when it get tough, and they come in with all these tests and these obstacle courses, and they want to see the fortitude of the guy and see if he can make it through this, and if he understand it's a package deal with me and my kids, and she making it so hard on him that if he, in her mind, if he makes it past all of these trials up front, then he's worthy of her as a conquest. And I think that her mentality is you got to conquer this. These are the walls. Now, when you say women have walls, you're gonna say, if I say all women have these walls, you got to break down. Everybody gonna nod their head and say, okay. Every guy has to show you that he's serious. You're gonna say, okay. Every guy has to prove that he's in it for the long haul and not for the hit and quit. You're gonna say, okay. In her mind, that's exactly what she's saying and doing.
Mm.
What test
If
are
I was
she
a
going
guy and I
through?
gotta go through all of that, then I don't want to be with you during the hard time because shit, it's hard enough. I don't know what. That's crazy.
Congratulations. That's what most women is on. That he got to prove himself.
Yeah.
He got to show me that he's serious. He got to. He can't take me to Cheesecake Factory on the first date. He got to come in hot and heavy. Go hard or go home. He got to come and bring it in order to get my attention and capture my imagination and sweep me off of my feet.
Now,
That's how these women is out here really moving.
and these women gonna be mad at me because then here I go. I'm gonna say, well then what if guys start putting us through that?
I was about to say, is your sister also in relationship boot camp that she got this dude?
Relationship boot
She
camp.
is currently single. She had been married, but since divorced. But I don't know if that's a direct correlation. I do see that the symptoms could be diagnosed as the illness, but the point, but
It
I think
is
that
a direct. Me and Sean are telling you, it is a direct correlation.
It
okay, y'all gonna go
is.
ahead.
Who
Y'all go ahead and
Yeah,
take the
I
mask
agree
off,
with
huh?
Oprah. Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
who voted you the drill sergeant? Why am
I,
I at, why am
when you
I at
get hurt,
zero and you
when
at
you get
100?
hurt, I think sometimes once you're hurt or once you're disillusioned or once you're disappointed in love, you come up with these defense mechanisms saying to yourself, I'm gonna make sure I never fall for that again. Or one bad that's why these women like ain't no good niggas and ain't no this and ain't no that and whatever. They took one sample size and spread it throughout the whole congregation and made everybody gossipers, everybody bad actors. Nobody's paying tithes and doing the right thing. And that's a negative way to look at men as a whole. And of course you can go into whether it's black men or whether it's educated men. Like there's so many stereotypes that exist as it relates to men that men have to conquer those stereotypes. I know me and how I present myself. I remember when I was dating my wife, she made a comment and it stuck with me and it bothered me because I didn't think this is where I didn't think it was gonna work. She said, I don't like Kanye West because he's too arrogant. And it threw me off because y'all know me, I'm extremely arrogant.
Yeah.
so, so I had to say, wait a second. Is she trying to tell me something? Like she does she want to change me? Because that's not gonna happen. I've been doing this too long. Like what but as we got to talk, his arrogance was more attention getting and flamboyant. And he was too he said too much. He talked too loudly when he didn't need to say anything. My arrogance was more subtle. It was it was more coordinated. And so
So
she
I
could live
take
with
it
that.
that she doesn't believe that she's arrogant,
That's
and
crazy, ain't it?
y'all attracted each other. Is,
Ain't that
is that
crazy?
is that what she believes?
She doesn't think that at all.
Okay. Okay.
She
I've
doesn't think that.
seen it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Doesn't
I
think that at
plead
all.
I plead the sixth.
Right, right. Wait, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I think that from her perspective, and let's just look at women in general. Women take the the credit for what they don't do and the drama they don't bring, and they compare themselves to the worst of them as the attribute as to why they're better. So basically, I'm looking at guys. Okay, so we hunting, okay, and I'm in a competition with other hunters, and so I'm saying I'm taller than him, I'm stronger than him, I got more money than him, I speak better than him, I'm smarter than him. All of this. I listen. I'm a good listener. I'm looking at all the best of men that I have to compete with, right? And I'm saying, okay, I'm the best of the best. Women are saying, I ain't got no kids by a whole bunch of dudes. They're looking at the worst of the worst to see where they are in the order. At least I ain't this. I ain't living with my mom. I got my and so this is what I heard growing up.
I don't stink.
Man, I look, I'm clean. I got my own car. I got my own, and they start making songs. I'm telling you, like, I got my own this, I got my own that, I got my own this and that. Like, okay, that's kind of normal. It's like a dude bragging about not being in jail or paying child support. Yeah, you're supposed to do these things. You're supposed to be a law-abiding, upright citizen. I don't do, I don't be out all night. I ain't got to be out every weekend. I don't drink from a bottle. Like, what the? This is not a
But
real
I think,
attribute.
because they do that because it's so many out there that is that. And like you said it's no unicorns, but you're right. It's far less unicorns out there than should be. So when you surrounded by, I just say if I had 10 friends
Yeah.
and I'm the only one out the 10 that is clean, keep it clean, I
Yeah.
ain't got a lot of baby daddies, then
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got to compare to.
But
It's
that's
more of
not the
that out
resume.
there.
I think that's a
It
bad
should.
resume. There's no such thing as a herd of unicorns, right? Even in the cartoons, ain't a
Yeah,
whole bunch of unicorns
right.
running around. So we okay with the fact that it's one singular unicorn. But the fact is, don't even draw attention to the negative. Don't even because when I'm selling myself to you, I'm selling all positive. If I'm a dude, I come at you in a club and you like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? And you like, fine. And everything is good. And then we get to a conversation and you're like, well, listen, I done kept this job for, 5 years now. Um, only been late on 4, 5 child support payments. Keep the baby mama drama down. Like everything I'm saying has a negative undertone. That's not sexy. That is not attractive. What you want to hear is, I'm trying to start. I've been at my job for about 5 or 6 years, doing some training to try to get promoted to this, taking some classes on the outside because I want to buy some homes and flip them. And I'm looking in this area. Everything I'm saying is progressive and positive. I'm not comparing
Coming
myself
from a
to
coming from a male.
negatives.
Coming from a
Yes.
male. So coming from a female saying that to a guy would come off as being
You're right.
what am I looking for?
I'm getting you. I'm getting you.
Independent. She don't need no
I'm
man.
getting you.
She
I'm getting
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
would probably make him feel insecure, you
Yeah.
know? So
But the answer can't be to talk all about what you have been able to overcome. It can't be I'm better than her because I haven't done these things or I haven't, you know what I'm saying, had these traumas and my dad was around. Like that. I don't think those are badges that you can put on because they aren't yours. Those are badges of circumstance. You made some decisions that was good. You probably had some
right,
instances where you made a left instead of a right, and you probably was in a situation and you was like, this don't feel comfortable. And I do commend women for that. They get out of uncomfortable situations. But if a dude start talking about situations that was uncomfortable that he was in, that's not attractive. No,
Wait.
you're not
Why
attracted by a struggle story from a dude
why is this dude insecure?
I
because
said,
Because
go
she
ahead.
got her things together.
mm-hmm,
Yes,
mm-hmm.
He
I
wants a
don't.
woman without her things together. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what you say.
Mm-hmm.
He want to save her. He wants to save. Now listen, naturally men are
Not me.
providers.
But yeah.
Naturally men I think the proclivity of men is to provide and be the head of household, blah 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 blah. But I think modern women need to understand it's more of a partnership. It's more of a back and forth communication dynamic where we make decisions for us as a team. And what you hear a lot from women, and what I heard a lot when I was younger, is I haven't found somebody worthy. I have not found someone worthy of leading me. Who the hell is you? Who the hell is you?
What
That you?
can we talk about providers? Like what the hell is
Yeah.
that? Because
Mm-hmm.
both people in the relationship should be providing things. That's what make the relationship grow and nurture and advance and
So, so
mature.
So
What is
translate
a
that, Shonda.
provider?
Shonda, translate that. What is when a normal woman, not a unicorn like yourself, not the her, not her, not her. But when a
I
normal
didn't
woman
know
says she wants
unicorn
a
made that noise.
provider, what is she saying? Give us the game.
I'm gonna be honest, and
Okay.
I hate being
Thank you kindly.
look. I hate being honest, but I'm gonna be honest. I think most women, when they say provider, they want someone to take care of them. Most.
Is that a
Not
provider or is that a
not a
parent?
unicorn, not like me,
Right. All right.
because I think they want someone that can provide, um, take care of business, uh, and be yeah. Because I'm trying to think about the single women I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, so far
that
you're
that's
describing
what
a
they
parent
mouth.
to me.
That's what they mouth say. That's what they
Wait.
want.
He
They
said, well,
want a
he's letting you
man.
know. He letting you know that so far you're describing a parent. But go ahead.
Yeah, they want someone that can that has their own.
You
Oh
laugh.
my God, yeah. Don't
That's a
laugh.
parent. No, it's sad. It's a
But
little
true.
lost, but it's true. So ain't nothing wrong with the truth ever.
Yeah,
My,
they.
my
Mm,
question to you is this though, and let's just clarify, just to, call spades and be real on this. When people say provide, they mean provide financially. Because the one
yes,
thing I know is there's a lot of good guys, and I know you and I've talked about this even
and
with your
not
daughters.
saying that she don't have her own,
Right.
but she just wants you to have yours and to be able to. Um, and I'm just saying, most women and some women that I know in my age group, they're single. Let me put it like that. That I know, they want somebody, a man that will have their own, or woman, whatever they like, to
Hmm.
have their own and be able to do for them as well, even though they got their own. But I want you to take care of it, and I want somebody that's gonna come in and sweep me off my feet and take care of everything. And I ain't got to worry about nothing.
But you're taking away from
And
my own at that point
it's
because we're no longer
ignorant.
equal. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and it's ignorant. It's very
It,
stupid.
Well,
But
but I think I blame Disney for this. But the reality of it is that you get into these situations where, at my age, if I was looking for somebody, I am looking for somebody to provide, but it's to provide. And I think most men look for somebody to nurture and provide emotionally because they have to be the provider financially based on classic stereotypes and statistics. But the reality of it is, the best relationships are people who are codependent, and so they provide to each other emotionally,
yes,
conversationally, and financially.
yes.
The issue is with women, he can't be below me in my experience. And what I've heard is that as if I'm making 30,000 and I'm a woman, he has to make more than me, be taller than me. Everything has to be greater than me. He has to be more patient than me. He has to be he has to have a better whatever than me, credit score than me. Like he has to be ahead of you in order for him to deserve you. And that's bad math. The math ain't mathing. Why does
Mhm.
he have to be? Here's the situation. He doesn't necessarily have to be marginally better than you. But if he's anywhere below you, you feel like you got to bring this, I got to bring this nigga up. Like, nigga, your credit score is 744. His shit is 732. And you like, I ain't trying to raise no dude. Like, what is we talking about?
Mm,
What is we talking about? But that's the mentality that these women come in, is that these guys, as a guy that was raised by a single woman, I've always had women that wanted me to be ready made for them, not understanding I've never met somebody, you're a unicorn. I've never met anybody like you. Stop putting this pressure of I should know you like to sleep in your socks. I should know you like to put your feet on people when they sleep. Like I shouldn't know these things. You should give me the chance to train you. I should know I need to keep my hands dry. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? When I'm in your presence.
Right. But that was the younger me though. So
Understood. Understood. Understood.
I know
We
better
all
now.
learn and grow.
I know what
Yeah,
really
yeah.
matters now.
Right.
I
So
tell them, hey, wipe your hands off first before you grab mine.
right, right.
And we'll
But
have that understanding.
You know the issue is, and I think you've always been somewhat of a good communicator. The reality of it is, it's just the delivery. You used to go off. It was still communication, but it was just different kind of communication.
Mhm.
But I do believe that this happens, and we know women that we work with in the corporate space, whereas they're older and they're single again, or they're still single, and unfortunately, their hunting technique and their presentation mentality hasn't matured to equate to their age. So even though they still got to get, matter of fact, they look better probably than they did. I said something to you and you thought that was a real big statement. And the statement was, the reason why older guys talk to younger women is because they trying to make up for the hoes they couldn't get when they was 26. So now that they
Mhm.
41, they got this bread, they got this car, they got these provisions that they can provide this woman. And they going back and apologizing for their former self, because this is the kind of woman I would have got when I was that age, but I couldn't afford her. I remember one of the greatest things that happened to me when I was young was that when I was in high school, all of the, even the one I currently have, her boyfriend was in college, right? We went to high school together, but her boyfriend was in college. And I was like, these, do you know how easy it is to get high school broads when you got a car and you know what I'm saying? Like you grown, nigga, you grown. You don't have to do nothing. You 19, you don't have to do anything. You go to work because you want to, is my thoughts, because I'm a kid. And you got all the time in the world to come pick her up from school and blow the horn and all. That's, man, you ain't got no real game. You ain't really got no mouthpiece. You just aged out. And therefore
Mhm.
you can get these young tenderonis. And the girls loved it because they felt catered. But I think, like he was saying, these are surrogate fathers. These is dudes that's doing. Look, you a senior in high school, and your boyfriend that's 24 is coming to, like, you a senior, you 18. This dude is 24 coming to pick you up, and the 13-year-old freshman, her dad in the same car he in. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He got the same kind of whip this dude got,
Yeah.
and it looks exactly the same. They blow up, they pull up, they blow, and you come out. The youngin and the youngin, they both coming out. And I think that becomes a tough situation for a young fellow like me, because it's like I'm not even gonna try to talk to the baddest ones because they aren't even looking in this pool. They ain't even
Mhm.
looking for somebody on their level, because women physically mature faster than men. So people believe women psychologically mature faster than men as well because the hormones and this and that. But the
So,
fact is, a 16-year-old girl is a 16-year-old girl.
so let me ask you this: when you're a father of
Mhm.
girls
Mhm.
and you spoil your girls, and have
Mhm.
you ever heard the saying when someone say, "Man, I feel sorry for whatever dude they try to date"? So
So I think it's,
is that your fault?
yeah, it is. It is. It is. It's your fault. But I think that the connotation of the term spoiled is misread. Let me explain.
Or hold on
Where
before you start to
Go ahead.
explain.
Go ahead.
Or
Go ahead.
should you teach your daughters that, hey, I'm dad and this is what I do for you. But as you get older, this is what you should either look for in a man, or you shouldn't put these standards on someone that you just meet. You see what I'm saying? Because
I do.
I've heard people tell
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
husband that before, because he has daughters, and
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
spoiled and be like, man, I
Mhm.
feel sorry for whoever she gonna date because you got her riding and blah blah blah. I'm like, dang, this dude gonna catch hell
Mhm.
trying to live up to what she think that a man's supposed to be doing for her, because based off what her daddy do for her, how he shows up.
So this is the thing. My daughters absolutely understand the difference between a dad and a dude. She's not
Okay.
out there trying, and this is what we just talked about. Women is out there looking for other dads. And my girls ain't looking for other dads because they got a dad already.
Mhm.
It's usually the chicks that don't have a dad that's trying to build a dude to be her dad once she's grown. She's
Mm.
trying to create the dad that she never had in this dude. Those are the ones that actually had active fathers. They know the distinction between a father and a regular dude. And the
Mhm.
reality of it is, all I can do is be the dad. And when you say spoil them, I have this conversation with my moms and them, because we didn't come from a lot and we don't have a lot, but I do. Right? I'm good. And so when my baby go home, she go home thinking everything touch screen, everything is like, hey, turn the air down, the heat up. She come home with, hey, why don't y'all have a she her my in-laws took her to the movies, and she my father-in-law asked her, you want some popcorn or anything? She was like, no, I'll get it later. And they get into the movies and they start watching the movies. She was like, "When is the waitress coming?" Well, that's
Mhm.
Wow.
not us spoiling her. That's the life that we've bought into where she has an understanding or expectation there. Now, when she goes home now for the summers, we say, listen, everybody ain't got it like we got it.
Mhm.
Don't get there and get to asking like we was taught when we was kids. Don't get
Mhm.
to asking for stuff. Don't get to doing this and that.
Mhm. Mhm.
They ain't like that there. But I don't think that's necessarily spoiling her out of the game. That's exposing her to a different standard.
Right.
And if she wants to maintain that standard, you know, and I'm gonna say something, and you can take it where you want to take it. You know, no matter what you expose your kids to, if they got a burning desire to be hood, they gonna act like they hood and go back to the hood as often as
Absolutely.
possible, and they gonna try to
Yep.
embrace that lifestyle because they feel like they want to be like their cousins. And them, you don't work your ass off to get them out of that situation, and they
Yep.
doing everything they can to take the new
Get
car
right
down
back
there.
to it. You
You know
you
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
absolutely
you
right.
said you said something real
Absolutely right.
important. You said something. So you said that you explained to them that this is a dad and this is what a dude does.
No, no,
So
no. I didn't. I didn't. What I explained to them is all I can. I can't speak to them like a dude. I can
yeah,
only speak to them as their father. So I never try to. It would be hell for me to try to represent these young whippersnappers out here. I don't know what they think. Just like the young gangsters and all that. This ain't how I used to roll when I was young. The rules in the streets, people tell you that all the time. Man, it ain't like it used to be when I was young, man. These kids crazy. These kids on a different level. They about it. I don't even try to act like I can represent this young man or how he approaches things or presents things. All I can do is be the best me that I've been working on for 40 some years and let her know this is how I get down. This is how our relationship is. Because
yeah,
the one thing that women, young black girls, they have to understand is not every relationship is the same. Your relationship with your mama is different than your relationship with me. Your relationship with your cousins is different. Your relationship with your boyfriend is going to be different. Everybody, it's okay to treat them differently according to how they treat you. It's a reciprocity. It's however people treat you, you should treat them. So if your mom is tripping all the time, I'm not saying trip with your mama because you want to honor thy mother, thy father. What I am saying is you don't have to be happy about it and all that kind of stuff. If I'm the cool parent, treat me like the cool parent. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
The
yeah.
problem with yeah, you know, so that's the thing. The problem with women is women do not compartmentalize very well. So if something go bad, everybody getting it.
So
Everybody, I got a problem with
That's,
everything.
yeah, that's
talk
true.
about how you should not, even if your dad treats your mom a certain way.
Mhm.
You met your dad is 50. You met a 19-year-old dude, and you
Right.
want him to treat you that way. Your dad had to grow into that 50-year-old, right?
Absolutely.
You can't
Absolutely.
compare them two. So you can't have a, like she said, you can't feel sorry for the dude who has
No.
to meet her. You just have to tell your daughter, hey, don't expect a 19-year-old or 25-year-old to treat you like your 50-year-old dad treats me.
Mm.
It's not fair.
I think for me in real life, what happened? It's true story, real spill. We had a conversation early on where I said, "Your dad is Martin Luther King. Her dad, a minister. He got the biggest black church in the city, and all this and all that." And she started coming in with a lot of energy, like, "You should be like my dad." No, I'm straight. I'm straight on that. Your dad got like a 40, 50 year head start on me. We can't do what they do. We can't go where they go. They went to Hawaii for. We need to go to Hawaii. My parents went. And they said they had a funky good time. They did. Yes, all of that is factually correct. It's not gonna happen. No time soon. Let's get over it
But
and move on.
she's telling you that he had a dream.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Put a pin in it though. We can I don't know how they got there. I don't know if they collected cans or built up or won a raffle. I don't care. We not them. And that's the bane of every relationship is when you start comparing us to them. I don't give a fuck if it's your daddy them, if it's your uncle them, if it's your cousin them, or somebody on fucking TV.
what if
Well,
that's
he's doing
what
this
if
and
that's the
you know
only playbook that you have though?
what you have to be willing to do is be vulnerable. And this is what you did. Look, I know this is what I know. I know this is how I get down. Is this good enough or do I need to make some adjustments? And he like,
Mhm.
click, adjustments need to be made. You're like, okay, I'm willing to make adjustments. Call another play. Let's practice it and run it. You got to be willing to fit into the offense. You got
But
to be
see,
willing to
I had
adjust.
been in that one my first game.
Right,
So
right,
I've
right,
been in the
right.
game before. I done played a few games. I done lost a few years in a row.
Right,
And
right.
I said, this time I want to go to the Super Bowl. So you're
That's right.
right. But
That's right.
some people have not been in the game that long. They haven't played it long enough. So when they do get that first game, they comparing it or looking at the only thing that they know, which may be their parents or their auntie's relationship. That's all they got to go on until
That's
they
true.
lose that game. And then
That's
when they
true.
start over with another game, say, okay, well, then I know not to do that anymore.
But we as
Experience.
parents, yeah,
Go
we as
ahead.
parents, we have to. So you said, what if that's the only playbook they have? We as
Right.
parents, we got to give them another playbook. If they
Right.
don't create their own, like,
Right.
hey, you need to run an option or you need to
Right.
run a fake punt. We have to do that for them because they're misguided in looking at Disney, like you said, even though Snow White was very generous with her seven dwarfs. So,
Right.
but
Let me say this. Experience is the best sermon. And I think that there is no what you described was maturity. You matured through the school of hard knocks or some lumps on the head to say, I don't like that feeling. I don't want that anymore. And I'm going to do what it takes not to have that happen again. So that maturity came about, and that's a valuable lesson that you were able to absorb. The fact is, I tell my girls all the time, the one thing I never complained to my kids about, they had no idea what was going on with the money.
Whoa, time out, time out. That's our time for the day, but stay tuned for the conclusion of this episode.
I get your mind right, yeah. I get your mind right, yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.